Alright, and it looks like I am live. Welcome to Valnac Gaming, and today we are going to be playing Cities Skylines because it's one of my favorite games. Oh, that's not good. City Skylines playing at the same time. Let's try this again. So, as I said a minute ago, City Skylines is actually one of my favorite games. And there is several out there that I really like who also do this, obviously. And I'm going to give a big shout out right now to my all-time favorite, Overcharged Egg. He does a great series called, right now he's doing a city called Pavlin. And interesting enough, I'm actually going to be using the same map as his, and I actually use some of his ideas for layout and stuff that he does. So it won't be exactly the same, but the beginning of it will look that way. So if you're watching this and you also are familiar with him and you go, hey, this looks familiar, well, that's why. One of the biggest differences though is his stuff rocks and is like 100 times better than mine. But I really like how he started off that city, and it inspired me to play around with the ideas myself already a couple times. And well, now I'm going to do it again, and this time I'm going to share it with you. So we're going to go to the Murky Coast. We're going to name our city. Let's call it New Haven. And normally I would keep dynamic weather and day-night cycle on, but we're going to go ahead and turn off the day-night cycle for now. And get ourselves started. And I'm gonna do a voice check here and see, because I've got a new headset on, and I just want to make sure that if you can hear me now but not a couple seconds ago, that was me just checking the mute functionality on set here. Alright, so as usual, we're going to go ahead and pause the game before we do anything else. And let's explore this square a little bit. We're going to expand where this point of land there is going to be the major part of the city. And we're going to expand over that way, make use of that mountain and all that. So we're going to start right here in this area. And as usual, if you've never played before, you start everything by creating a road and then deleting it, and now it opens up more roads for you. And we want to do that because we want to use the one-way systems down here. And we're just going to run them off the highway just like this. And this will later on actually be highway. So, just a little short run. Back up. And I am going to make extra exits because these two, which will eventually become highways, are going to keep on going down this way eventually. So what this is going to be here is basically off ramps, off and on ramps. And we want to bring it down a little bit further. The reason why is because we're going to be putting in a roundabout here. Alright. There's our roundabout. And we generally want it to kind of look like right there in the middle. Just like that. Looks like that's going to be the middle. Off a little bit, but that's okay. And the first thing we want to do, of course, is put a cross in the middle. And this will just make sure we hold that circle shape. Back go away. And back to our one way. And we're going to have it come in between these 2 points. Or not. Okay. Let's do it this way. There we go. I'll put it about the same spot over here. Alright. Last thing we're going to do is do some upgrades. We're going to upgrade these streets leading off into medium-sized avenues. At this point we can go ahead and direct across the middle, and it will hold our shape. Now what we want to do is we're going to come down and around this kind of mountain hilltop right there. And it's going to be the entrance into what will become eventually Old New Haven. And how we do that is we want to make some bends in this road. So just go up here to our curve tool. And we're going to come out about halfway. We know we're halfway is because that next solid blue line there shows up. Once that first shows up, we know we're 5 segments there. So we want to go out 5 and then come down 5. Back to our straight tool, and we just want to come straight down here just for 10 units, just like that. And then back to our curve tool, we're going to come down 5, actually that might be kind of a little too close. Let's go ahead and keep going straight. So let's come down straight, one more 10 segment. There we go. And now let's do that curve. And we'll come down here 5. And then over 5. And we're just going to bring it down to here for now. Make it there. And what we've done is we've avoided this and we've put in 2 curves into our entrance into town. And if you look at them from above, you'll notice they actually look straight. This road down here, we're going to do something here later on, but it doesn't matter right now. So let's worry about this one over here. Now this side of the freeway over here is going to be industrial, so this is where almost all of our industrial for a while is going to go. And all I want to do right now is just give enough space to go ahead and let industry build up here without polluting anything that we don't want polluted. And the reason why I did all that is because we're going to go ahead and hook up our water as water towers right here in the middle. And we want to do it in a way that's going to take it away from, or be away from, the pollution. Now, we're not going to drag, at least for now, into the river for our wastewater. We'll end up doing that later, but for now, we're just going to use an inland water thing, and we'll just set it here for now. And then right across the street from it, to make it nice and really dirty, is we're going ahead and put our first power plant for now. Alright. At this point, let's lay out just the first little bit of pipe. I'm one of those who like to follow the roadways. I'm not perfect all the time about it, but and I am inflecting my voice and volume because I am actually, this actually isn't designed to be seen by anyone per se, as much as it is just kind of a test for myself to get an idea of what volume I need to talk at and stuff like that. So, alright, so this area here is going to be our industry area. And we want our industry to stay in this area. And the biggest reason why is we don't care if there's pollution over here. This is where the pollution is going to be at. We don't want it over here though, because this is where our livable area is going to be, our residential and our commercials. Make sure we hook up our water pipe there. There we go. Alright. And now we need to add in some streets for people to actually live on. We're going to make the first street come out like this. And we're going to come out your 10 plus 2. Normally you would come out on a regular street by 1, whether that's, you would do like 11 spaces. But because one of those that is coming off of is a wider street, you need 2 spaces. And that will come later when you see a when we get parks open and we get landscaping, it'll allow us to go ahead and put in trails and stuff like that and pathways. So let's go ahead and curve this, and we'll just come straight out. And you see how this street here has the rogue islands comes out? All we got to do is match that up with our street, and we've got kind of a matching curve. And actually I did throw it off just a little bit though, so let's go ahead and reconstruct that. And it's the side closest to it that we want. There we go. Alright. And we're going to do another straight street. Actually, this is going to be a temporary street right there. And the reason why is because I want to be able to draw it at the correct angle. And then we'll come out and we will curve this one. Alright, good enough. Let's put in just a couple more blocks here. Now, I got to be careful on this main road here because we're going to put residential over here. And over here, we're going to put some commercial and then probably some more residential over here, or maybe more industry. We'll determine that later. But I got to be careful that I don't make arteries, main arteries for traffic. Like, and what I mean by that is, like, see how this road is connected to the avenue there? Well, what I don't want to happen is for this to be one big long street right there, because what will happen is our residents will file into this one street and go all the way there, and that's going to create traffic problems, and we don't want that. So I need to break this up a lot so that way there are different ways to get in and out of this neighborhood. So I like having intersections every 20 squares. So that's you see these road guideline dots there, that's 2 of these, every other one. Is actually a little bit past that. Want this to come out 1 and 2. There we go. If you play City Skylines yourself, you know these road guidelines can be kind of picky from time to time. Right, and let's go ahead and continue this over here on this side, and this will just give us our first little strip of commercial. All right. Good. This means there is going to be a little curve in that particular road. Not a big one. Just a gentle one, just like that. Alright. Let's bring this straight out. Again, just a slight curve is needed, just like that. Alright, so you remember I was talking about we don't need arteries? Now this is where this is starting to turn into an artery. We don't want that. So let's go ahead and nip that in the butt now. And let's continue this street over to there. And bust this one out there. Now on the residential blocks, I don't care if we have a block every 10 or 20, it doesn't matter. So the fact that there's only 10 here, but 20 from here to here, that doesn't matter to me as much. And of course, as you're seeing, we're off kilter just a little bit on our spacing of 10 and 20s, and you know what? That is okay. It won't be the end of the world. Alright, let's go ahead and leave it there for now. Let's put in a little bit of zoning so we can plan our power lines. And I'm one of those weird guys who's like to micromanage every building that comes into his city, at least in the beginning. I get lazy about it later on, but we're going to leave this one space gap here because this will make for a nice walkway, pathway later in the gameplay. And we're going to continue this down here. And the way what I'm doing here is making it where the electricity will jump from one to another of these zone squares. And what we're trying to do is get it all the way over to here. And let's go ahead and put in just a little bit of commercial here. And this isn't the industrial over there and the commercial here. We're actually eventually going to get rid of it. At least the industry in this part of the square here. But for now, we need it to go ahead and do transfer of power. And that's all this is about, transfer of power. And then we'll should jump there. Actually, I need to stop making the commercial because not that much commercial is going to come in. So let's go ahead and stop. Actually, let's go ahead and take these. And we will go ahead and run just quick power lines over to someplace. But first things first, let's put in residential where we want that residential to start. So let's leave this square here empty. And this we can detail later out as the parkland. So let's go ahead and put in our first houses starting here. So I don't want to go over here. Let's see. And we want these in big, so 4x4s whenever possible. We're just going to stay on the outside. And every once in a while, like right here, we're going to leave a gap. And those gaps are deliberate so that we've got a place to put in a bicycle path or a walking path later. Alright. So let's go ahead and put in our electricity real quick. And let's see. We started it right about there, right? I want to be right there. And just run this straight over to here like this. And once the businesses come in over here, it should light everything up. Not a big deal. Alright, let's get the water moving in to these neighborhoods. Yeah, it's going to be off kilter a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Said I like to do it, doesn't mean I succeed at it. Alright. All that covered. Let's cover up over here real quick. Alright, and now we should have everything powered. Got everything watered. Let's go ahead and just put in a little bit more housing to get us started. When I can't use 4x4s, I like to use 4x3s and then 2x3s. And 3x3s if necessary. You might see some of those coming up here in a minute, like right there. And the reason why I'm not making out a 4x3 is because we might as well make this into a walking trail there. I like to make my cities very walkable, which is kind of hilarious seeing how I don't like to walk that much. Alright. Let's just go ahead and start this simulation now. And go ahead and push that up on high. And let's watch our first houses come up. There's our first house. Let's get some more houses moving in here. Alright, there comes a nat one. He's got to fill up a little bit more. Come on, guys. Move in. Help a brother out. Alright. Why aren't they getting more? not getting water because water tower doesn't have power yet. Come on, need more industry to grow in there. Once that industry comes in, we'll be all right. But industry has to grow in here. So one thing I have to make sure is I need to, I bet I should be able to do that now. Let me go ahead and pause the game. I need to flip over to my Twitch controls and move. I can see my RCI bar, which is down there in the lower right with the green, and there would be blue if there's any demand, but there's orange demand for industry. Uh-oh. So things should have power now. Oh, let me hit the play button. That'd help. And I do not have it yet. I got to bridge that. So let's add in just a little bit. Actually, you know what? We're going to build a house here real quick. There you go. Somebody will move in there real quick. Once that happens, we will have it try to do this before we go bankrupt. And come on, somebody build there. Meantime, I will build another business there. One of these two things is going to come up. There it goes. Now I can go ahead and D-zone this. Again, we're not going to keep that one house there, not in a junction like that, but right now we needed to transfer the power, because now notice we are powered everywhere and watered everywhere. Now we're in a negative money, we're bringing in, and we're losing money. And it is still possible we're going to go bankrupt, but that actually isn't the end of the world. Though if we can prevent going bankrupt, it would be nice. And the reason why I say it won't be the end of the world is because you get a nice little influx of money when you go bankrupt. Some people consider it's like, oh, it's the end of the game. No, actually, it's not. It's kind of like a personal goal and vibe thing, if you ask me. But some more houses here. Let people get moved in. Alright. There we go. Lots of people moving in now. And now I've gone bankrupt, so we're going to go ahead and accept this bailout. And that gives us a lot of extra money to build and do what we need. Which, first thing we're going to do is pause the game. Let's come over here and break down this house. We're never going to keep the house there anyway. So let's just go ahead and put up a little power line now that we have the money for it. There we go. let's see, how many more people we need for our first milestone? 460 out of 273, huh? Alrighty. Hit the play button back, and let's keep on laying down some houses. Getting to a point there we'll have to lay down some more industry and commercial interests, but for now, alright. So, put in some commercial interests along the main street here. Looks like we'll need to power that up though. So, let's go ahead and just run a quick power line from here over to here. There we go. And we'll start our commercial blocks in this area here. Start putting commercial on this side as well. Actually, I got plans for it. And it looks like I got a viewer in here right now, so hello, welcome to Valnac Gaming. And we're just doing a city build right now. And we're trying to get to 460 people so that we go ahead and make become a small hamlet, our first milestone that we need. Leave a gap here so we can run a road down the middle there if we need to, so. In fact, let's go ahead and just do that real quick. Lots more industrial, so let's go ahead and make sure there's plenty to be had. Looks like we need some more residential, so let's go back to our residential side of town here and plop down some more zoning for houses. And there we go. There is our first milestone. And let's go over to milestone steps first real quick. This gives us access to our taxes and loans, so we can go ahead and grab some money, change our taxes up, bring a little extra money. We're going to have to put in garbage. Education and healthcare become available. Definitely need to get started on education, because education is an important thing for the job market. And then we got, of course, our new buildings to associate with that. Our next step past this is going to be a worthy village, which allows us to unlock a square, districts, policies, stuff like that. So, and I might go ahead and probably do that step off the air, and then come back in my next episode with the next steps beyond that. But just give a quick overview of what New Haven is all about right now. So when you come off the exit here, you'll eventually be able to go straight or go ahead and get off, which right now that's the only thing you really can do is get off, right? The freeway, that is. And so here you can go around the roundabout to go over toward the residential and commercial, or you can take a right and go right into the industry area. And of course, if you come over here, you kind of do a couple turns, and starting in this block right here will eventually be full up of businesses, and it's going to become our Old Main Street. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and change that name now. So instead of Sterling Street, this is going to be called Main Street. And the district here, at least for where the businesses are going to be, is going to be known as Old Haven. Get it? Because we're calling the whole city New Haven, and the city, yeah, anyway. So we'll go ahead and call this Main Street. Alright. And actually, we want to call this Old Main Street, don't we? Let's see. And why does it make sense to call it Old Main Street right now? Later on in the build, it will make sense, since this is going to be our quote-unquote old town. And then we have our residential area, which is being going to be built out this way and through here. So all this is going to be residential eventually, right through here. This kind of off-kiltered street, which is off-kiltered on purpose, is going to continue to come all the way out. And then there'll be branching roads off this, with avoiding artery roads that connect up to this road. Matter of fact, this here can be considered going this way. Don't now, but quote-unquote, probably if they live over here, the street, excuse me. I'll end up in this over in this area, and then it'll be that they take this street to get over into. And so, got to bear all that in mind and make sure that the routes that the Sims end up taking doesn't over our system. Anyway, that's it for this episode.